Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring the intricate and beautiful system of written Thai. And don't worry, this isn't just going to be a boring memorization of some exotic alphabet. We're going deeper, much deeper. We're going to uncover the mechanics and the history to see what really makes Thai tick.
I like to think of it like we're cracking a code,
Uh-huh.
When you finally understand how the Thai script works, it's like you can see the language in a whole new light.
I like that. I like that a lot, cracking the code. So, to get us started here, what is it that makes this script so unique?
Well, a lot of times you hear people refer to it as the Thai alphabet, right? But to be honest, that's kind of misleading. You see, the Thai writing system is actually what linguists would call an abugida.
An abugida. Okay, I gotta admit, I've never heard that before. What's the difference between an abugida and an alphabet?
It all comes down to how sounds are represented visually.
Mm-hmm.
So in an alphabet, like English we use, each letter is supposed to represent a single sound, like with consonants A and D vowels. But with an abugida, the consonants are really the stars of the show. They're like the base, the foundation.
Oh, I see. So it's like the consonants are the main actors and the vowels are supporting actors.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. The vowels are still important to pronounce things correctly, but visually they're these little marks and symbols, and those marks are added to the consonant. So instead of like separate letters for A, E, I, O, and U, you have these really clever marks that change the consonant and create a syllable.
So you're not really writing out all the letters individually in Thai. It's more like elegant pairings between consonants and vowels. Right?
Precisely. And another interesting thing is that this abugida system isn't unique to just Thai. Other Southeast Asian scripts use it, like Khmer and Lao. And that kind of hints at a shared history, in the region.
Wow, so we're already making connections, echoes of history woven into the script itself. It really makes you wonder, how did this all come to be? Where can we trace the roots of the Thai script?
Okay, so we're talking about a script that's like more than just letters on a page. It's really a window into cultural exchange and history. Makes you almost want to hop in a time machine and see this all develop,
Yeah, it's true. And if we did go back in time, our first stop would have to be the world of the old Khmer script. Imagine a script so beautiful, so elegant, it inspired generations of scribes. That's where Thai gets its DNA, so to speak.
So these ideas were really traveling across Southeast Asia, putting down roots in new languages, changing as they went.
Exactly. And that's where a very important figure enters our story, King Rumkhamhaeng the Great. He ruled back in the 13th century. But this wasn't your typical king. This guy was a visionary, a real language enthusiast. And he's the one who actually standardized the Thai writing system. That's incredible.
Oh, absolutely. It was a monumental task. Rumkhamhaeng took all these different elements, refined them. He gave the Thai script the form that we recognize today, a system that was both beautiful and practical for daily use.
That's amazing. But didn't the Thai script also do something totally new, something no other writing system at the time could do?
You're exactly right. And this is where things get really exciting, because we got to talk about tone markers.
Tone markers. Okay, now take us there, because I know this is where it gets interesting.
So unlike English, Thai is a tonal language, right?
Yeah.
The tone you use completely changes the meaning of a word.
It's like if I say the word record with a flat tone, it means one thing, like writing something down. But if I say record with that upward inflection, now it means something totally different.
Exactly. Same word, totally different vibes based on just the tone. Now, how do you capture that in written form? That's what makes the Thai script so amazing. It's the first one to introduce these dedicated tone markers.
Oh, wow. So they're like little visual cues to tell you how high or low your voice needs to be?
Yeah, exactly. Like musical notes for your voice, making sure every word is sung in the right key. Before this, tonal languages relied on context, which, let's be honest, can get messy. But Thai, no way. They said, we're going to make this crystal clear.
What a game changer. They took something that's difficult in spoken language and made it easy to see. But speaking of difficult, we got to talk about consonant classes. They're a whole other part of this tone puzzle, right?
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. So in Thai, all the consonants are grouped into three classes: middle, high, and low.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all essential to how those tones are actually pronounced.
I'm already starting to sweat a little.
Don't worry, it's not as hard as it sounds.
So it's not just memorizing the tone of each word. The consonant kind of gives you a head start.
You got it. It's like each consonant class sets the base tone, the starting point, and then the vowels, how long the vowel is, and those tone markers, they all work together to fine-tune it all, like a perfectly in-sync orchestra of sounds.
Wow, I like that. It really makes you appreciate the ingenuity that went into this. And speaking of appreciating things, can we talk about those vowels for a second? I'm fascinated by how they work with the consonants, like visually.
Ah, yes, the vowels. We can't forget about them. And you're right, they're just as fascinating as the consonants. Why don't we explore that next?
One thing I've always found really cool about the pi script is how visually interesting it is, especially those vowels. They can be above the consonant, below it, to the left, to the right. Sometimes they even completely surround it. It's like they're dancing around the consonants or something.
Uh-huh. I love that analogy. And it's true, they really do. But it's not just for aesthetics, although there's definitely an art to it. The way those vowels are positioned is all about the sound, how they interact with the consonants.
So, like, every little mark has a purpose. It tells you how to say it. It guides your eyes as you read.
Exactly. Form and function totally in sync. Think about consonant clusters. That's where you have like two or more consonants right next to each other. The vowel marks often kind of wrap around the whole cluster. It's like a visual cue that says, hey, these consonants are a team.
I never thought of it like that, but that makes so much sense. It's like the script is giving you hints on how to decipher those combinations. You know what else is fascinating to me? The fact that Thai also uses elements from other languages, like Sanskrit and Pali. It's like these little threads woven into the fabric of the language.
Absolutely. We can't talk about Thai without talking about the influence of Sanskrit and Pali, especially Pali, actually, since it's so connected to Buddhism and Thai culture.
So it's not just like borrowing a few words. The script itself actually had to change to make room for these new sounds.
Exactly. They created special rules and symbols just for the Sanskrit sounds. It tries to stay true to the original Sanskrit spellings as much as possible.
That's amazing. It's like they're preserving these ancient languages within Thai itself. Do you have a good example of how that works?
Let me think. Oh, I know. One that always surprises my students is the word for dharma. It's originally a Sanskrit word, but in Thai, there are actually a few different ways to spell it, A-N-D, say it. It all depends on the specific meaning and context. It's like the word itself is a blend of different traditions.
Wow, that's a perfect illustration. So much history packed into just one word.
Right. And that's just one small example. We've only scratched the surface today, really. There's still so much to discover. More diacritics, numeral special rules. The Thai script is full of surprises.
It really is a journey, isn't it? Every time you think you're getting a handle on it, there's a whole new layer to explore.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, how will all of this change with technology? With texting and typing becoming so central to how we communicate?
That is the million-dollar question. Will those visual nuances, the phonetic richness, will it all still be there in the future? Or will the script adapt in ways we can't even imagine yet?
It's such a great question to end on. From ancient origins to the digital age, the Thai script is always evolving. It really speaks to the power of language, how it connects us across time, across cultures. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive for today. We hope you enjoyed this exploration of written Thai and maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Until next time.